Do you find painting tiny figures challenging? Do you find that your tiny figures doesn't seems to have actions? It doesn't look convincing? Let us do some exercises. Let us do some practices to get better with painting tiny figures in watercolors. Hi friends, I am Vanidas Mankatil and let us learn watercolors together. Let us mix some dark colors. I have mixed the Paynes gray, slightly watery consistency, and let us load the brush fully and splatter some shapes on a piece of watercolor paper. Okay, you could use any piece of paper, and while splattering, I'm trying to make their top edge at the same level because I wanted to convert them into an array of tiny figures. Now that we got some shapes, we have to now look at these shapes and try to visualize, try to see some figures into this. If you want, you can pause this video at this point of time and see if you can visualize these shapes as some figures. It may not be complete figures, some part of figures. So I am finding some figures here. So this particular figure I am finding it as a person maybe riding a bicycle, but only the top half of it. I am seeing only top half. Maybe the bottom half I can give some suggestion going forward. So right now I'm taking slightly thicker consistency of the paint. Initially for splattering we have used little watery consistency. Now I am using little thicker consistency of paint, and I have used right now I am using a small synthetic brush with a good point. Initially for splattering I have used a medium size mop brush. Now it is a pointed synthetic brush, and I am just suggesting some bicycles, okay, for this, because couple of these figures I feel that they can be converted in as people riding bicycles, and the people riding bicycles are very challenging for many of us. We put people riding bicycles in street scenes, and in some of the even landscapes you may find it useful. So let us make this as a treat this as some silhouette kind of a thing, okay, and let us kind of clarify our imagination, clarify our thoughts. See, some of these figures I am thinking as some of these shapes I am thinking as figures, so I am sort of clarifying it by adding little bit of extra details. Okay, now I think we got sufficiently good amount of people, but all look very nearby. So let us sort of add some far end figures also. Once we clarify this, let us add some far end figures, maybe with slightly lighter tones. Okay, maybe maybe a couple of them. Okay, so a few of them, and let us make a far end figure here also in the gap. And now we have a good collection of figures. We may need to add a little bit more clarity to this, but I was thinking, should we add some sort of a context, some sort of a background now that these figures are sort of taking shapes. I'm thinking to first add some colors to these figures before actually doing the background. So I have taken cobalt green color. This is little opaque color. We want opaque color here because we already have a dark shapes, so we need to color on top of a dark shape, so we need some opaque color. This is not a conventional watercolor kind of thing. We are doing some experiment, we are doing some sort of practice. Okay, so first doing the dark and then making it light on top of it may not be the conventional watercolor approach, but here we are initially making a silhouette of figure and then making it attractive by adding some colors to their apparels, to their dress. Okay, I have taken some cobalt green color, I have taken vermilion red, I have taken some lilac kind of color. This is lilac color. Okay, so you can take any opaque sort of a color which can work on top of a dark background. Now let us come back to the context and let us wet the paper slightly below. It is little challenging to wet the paper because we have already made the figures, so we'll have to be careful while wetting the paper and adding some colors. I'm adding a sort of gradient wash for the foreground to create some sense of depth. And at this point, I'm finding it little challenging because we have already made the legs of the figures, the bicycle tires, and all those things. So I don't want to spoil them. A little bit of, suggestions here. Some maybe tiny touches. Okay, so see, this particular part which I'm doing is not important for the exercise. This is just to create a context for these figures that we have already made, to make it little interesting. Okay, so I have made the top right area a little wet. You can see that it is light grayish color because the brush already had Paynes gray color. So on a wet background, I am adding some suggestions for some tree foliages. So you can see that this is having sharper edges at some point and light and softer edges for some other point. That is because some part of the paper is dry and some part of the paper is wet. Now I came back to mop brushes because these are larger washes. See, for the main washes, wetting the paper, etc., I have used mop brushes. And for the figure details, I have used liner brush, synthetic pointed round brush. Okay, now we do have a good context. It doesn't have to be pretty. Okay, and as I told, this step could be avoided. You can just stop at painting the figures. Now I always like to have some kind of a context around these figures. So that is the reason I did this part of the challenge. Okay. Now, actually, what we need to do next is we need to sort of think of which are all these figures are going that side, going away from us, which figures are coming towards us. So, if the people or figures are coming towards us, we will see their faces, and those people who are going away from us, we will not see the faces. The face is suggested by a thick orange color here because that is pretty close to skin tone. Okay, and for those people riding in bicycle, I am also suggesting the hand holding the handlebar. Okay, some suggestion for the face as well as some suggestion for the hand. These are the things I am doing, and if the person is going the other side, going away from us, I am not putting any suggestion. I am not putting much of skin tone. Okay, now he is riding a bike, so let us suggest the hands also. And I think we are pretty much done. We don't have to do it too much. Okay, this is a practice. This is not a final watercolor work that you might want to frame and hang. This is something that you can practice. Okay, now let us dry this because I wanted to add little bit more dry brushworks to complete the sense of suggestion. For example, this guy is riding the bicycle and he is facing us, so little suggestion of the handle, okay, little suggestion of the seat, okay, are done by these dry brushworks. This is little thicker consistency Paynes gray that I am doing just to add little bit more corrections and little bit more suggestion. Okay, there are two people, here one riding a bike, so let us add some sort of suggestion. Okay, this is actually a beautification part. You could probably avoid it. Okay, and once we do this dark suggestion, I will be planning to pick up some thick white color as a highlight. Okay, I'm using a liner brush for this because this is very thin kind of a highlight and it should be done very carefully. If you are against using watercolors, white in watercolors, you can skip this step, but I find it very important, and it makes the things very clear. It adds a lot of clarity. Okay, so now the bicycles facing this side are, we see it as much more clear now. Okay, so if you don't use white, I may find it difficult to add this kind of clarity. Okay, some top of shoulder to distinguish this figure from the background figure. Okay, and yeah, this This is the final touches of clarity that we are adding. If you are finding this video informative, it is helping you. If you think this practice will improve your watercolor figures, please do subscribe to my channel and press that bell notification. Please drop your comments, questions, suggestion in the comment box below, and please share this video to your artist friends who can also take benefit of this video. And I don't know if you're aware of, YouTube has a new feature. If you like this video, you will find an option to hype this video. So, if you could do that, it will be a great motivation to me, and it will allow this video to be reaching to a wider audience. So I would appreciate you doing that. Coming back to our practice, we are finishing it here because we have met our objective. We converted all those initial random shapes into convincing figures performing action, and please remember that this action will be convincing only if you have a fair understanding of human proportion, a little bit of perspective when people are in different actions. So please do sketch a lot and practice this the proportions, the perspective, etc. Then if you come back to this exercise, it will be of much more help. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please do practice. As I mentioned, practice is the key. Thank you very much. We'll soon see you in the next video.